YouTube, what's the thoughts? Your brother, man, and friend, Morris Trucker, demonstrating love, true peace, freedom, and justice here, there, and everywhere. It's been a minute, man. It's been a long time. About 4 months. Nah, it ain't been 4 months, about 3. But still out here trucking, still moving and grooving. So I did leave Sharky's Transportation. But it was a good company. It was no problems. Money was good. No problems with dispatch or nothing like that. But they're based out of Quincy. And unless I lived in Missouri or Galesburg, somewhere up in that area, it was just, we're a veteran now, It's time to have a terminal at home and be home more. There I was doing 23 and 5. So now I'm with RTS, Renewable Transport Services, out of Indianapolis, where I live. So I have a home terminal. And I'm off weekends, and I'm getting paid percentage of the loads. So that kind of works for me. You draw, because now my kids, all 3 of them in high school, they want to come live with me. So last year I was living in my truck. I was only coming home 5 days a month. So I would just rent a room for those 5 days and, party like a rock star. You draw. Now I got to get on daddy duty. They all want to move in. So I got to go back, find another house, and go back to paying bills. Sad situation, ain't it? So RTS was the best fit for me, because what I realized is, like, home daily and shit like that really only works if you married or got a live-in girlfriend or something like that, a secondary income, because they ain't really trying to pay nothing. They trying to give you $12.50 before taxes. You know what I'm saying? In my situation, shit, that's about a $900 check. You dig? I need to be taking home $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a week. You see? So I would have loved to did home daily, but home weekends was the best I could have did. RTS is a good company. For the percentage of the loads, I work less. Like, literally, I was probably doing 6-7 loads a week with Sharky. With RTS, I'm doing 2 loads a week. One there, one back. They may send me all the way up east and then backhaul me back, or send me all the way to Nevada and backhaul me back. Like now, I'm sitting here in Bondage, Alabama. Then I got to go to Newman, Georgia, then back up to Indiana. So that's basically how that's running. But less work, home more, pay is about the same. So, and that's what I was looking for. Like, I could have got on with Pepsi. Pepsi got a no-touch, but home every night, off weekends, but that was only 12 before taxes. You know what I mean? So I would love to do home daily, I guess, doing a little bit of dating now. If she the one and shit, maybe we can combine our finances or something. And I can do home daily. But me, by myself, I don't want to be in a position where I'm living check to check. I just don't. You know what I mean? I want to have bill money. I want to have living life money and some extra in case of a rainy day. That's why I got in the trucking. So yeah, Sharky, I still refer. If you live in the Midwest somewhere, my guy was trying to get on with him, and he lived in Atlanta. So I would tell you to apply if you got the 6 months experience. Sharky was great. It was a good company. It's just that, 1, I wanted to be home more. 2, I actually did want to have a terminal in my hometown, because you inadvertently end up spending time at the terminal. So it'd be nice if you live there and you can go do other things while they servicing the truck, or trying to run you off on a different load, or if you relaying the load back to the terminal, and then they, So Sharky, I still refer them. They was a good company though. There was no beefs, no bad terms. It's just that I required more home time along with preferable rate. If I could have went, I would have went actual. Because they pay percentage too. I would have actually went local with them if I lived in those areas. And I thought about moving But the high school that my kids are going to, they doing college courses, scholarships on the line. So I didn't want to disrupt that, to gratify my situation. I got to think about the babies. So that's the reason I left Sharky's. It was good company. They pay like they wait. And you're going to be doing a lot of General Mills runs. They got a nice contract with General Mills. So I say if I'd have stayed in Galesburg, Kansas, Missouri, Hannibal, Missouri, Quincy, if I'd have stayed anywhere in that general area, oh yeah, I definitely would have stayed. But living in Indianapolis, RTS was the best fit for me. And so far I've been with them 3 weeks now. First week was real shady because I didn't understand the process. So, the first week just went to being a rookie. Now that I pretty much understand how things run and I'm in the groove of things, it's not bad. Back doing reefer. Not too happy about that, but the money make you, put your feelings in your back pocket and sit on them, because, with reefer runs like now I'm at Walmart waiting. They give you an appointment. You make it on time, and they still, take their sweet time getting you up out of there. Versus if I'd have been late, they'd have tried to reschedule me to tomorrow sometime or something. So, that's the only thing about reefer division. It's a lot of waiting. You break your neck to get to these receivers and be sitting around like a numbnut. You draw. But I'm happy here, man. Like I say, I'm home more, and certain loads will bring me back by the house where I could chill and then take off and finish dropping the load off and things like that. So, my first year and 2 months, it's the end of May. So I'm going to say 3 months, June. But a year and 2 months in trucking, like I've learned, from Trans Am to Sharky to RTS, I'm learning how things go. And I'm happier and happier in my decisions. And, especially once you get that year in, you're able to talk to the dispatchers and let them know what you want to do. And it's easier to find a job when you got a job, because if they got things going on that's not really beneficial to you, you could tell them, I stay where I'm at. Thank you, no thank you. Versus you getting your feelings and you walk away from companies. You got to take the first job that come along without knowing if that's better or worse for you, because you got to keep that finance flowing. I've just been because I talked to other drivers, I've been very lucky. After my transition from Trans Am, Sharky to RTS has been a smooth transition, like literally. Like, I would have loved to stay in Sharky. The only complaint I had with Sharky was them old trucks, but they kept them in good condition. They gonna do the maintenance on them, you know what I mean? But, you might have to go through a few breakdowns here and there, but they gonna get them fixed immediately, and, they run. The Mack trucks they got over there, they run. That was, I'm just saying, if I had to complain about anything with Sharky, that was it. Outside of that, I really do wish I could have stayed. They treated me fair, but breakdown is an issue. You break down and you're at the terminal, and that's what it was. A lot was going on. I was spending a lot of time there in Quincy, so that's why I was like, man, I need a terminal and home, so at least if I'm sitting around, I'm not in a hotel doing nothing. You already do a lot of driving, eating, and sleeping. So if you gotta, be sitting still, last thing you want to do is be at the hotel on your back. You could be moving around with your family, doing different things until you get that call. So, but other than that, it was, when you talking finance and you talking just an all-around good trucking company, Sharky was on point. RTS, they same thing. I'm having, mediocre trucker really the problems that I'm having here are problems with shippers and receiver, mainly because I'm in the reefer division. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give a shit. You gonna wait. You gonna hurry up and wait. But outside of that, the finance, the home time, the communication with me and my dispatcher, like, it's a job. Rest of it, can't complain about the shippers and receivers because they pay the bills, right? And plus it's percentage, no more getting paid by the mile. All I gotta do is get the load there, money on deck. You draw. So if there's an issue, if there's any type of backhaul, if the breakdown, I don't have to rechase those miles. That was also a good deal. All I gotta do is get it there. You know what I mean? And hopefully get it there before the pay period ends. But outside of that, YouTube, like, trucking is trucking, like, literally. And I know one's like, man, what's been going on, man? You know, and heard from you. What's the latest? Are you still at Sharky? This, that, and the third. I'm not. But I will still refer them to anybody that only got 6 months in the game. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, after your year, you could pretty much decide what you want to do. After 2 years, you pretty much set. Like, I'm thinking I may go get because I got my tankers and I got my triples and doubles. The hazmat is the only endorsement I don't have. So I'm thinking I may, by the end of this year, sometime when I'm not, it's the summer. So every weekend's a party, you draw. But probably going into the fall, into the winter, I may go back, take the time to study for the hazmat and try to be looking into the fuel runs. You know what I mean? They making good money, home every day, but you got to have that hazmat. And then I'll be at 2 years, March of next year. So, I had that experience to where I could pick and choose. Because like I said, I would like to be home every day, but not for a pay cut. I see guys do it all the time. I got to be home every day. I mean, like I say, it works if you're married or something, but me by myself with 3 teenagers, nah. I'll run the week and take them weekends, you draw. But yeah, man, it's been a good run. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. RTS is also renewable transport here in Indianapolis. They're here. Their terminal is here. So if you live, close in the surrounding areas, you might want to rock with them, man. Good company, Sharky. You in anywhere in the Midwest, you might want to rock with them. Just, while you getting your feet wet, after you done got you about 6 months experience, out of school or whatever. Yeah, it's, we trucking, baby. You draw. I'm happy with my decision to jump into trucking. I mean, Trans Am almost destroyed that for me, but you got to hold on and hold out, So I done paid my dues. That's the only way I look at it when, question about Trans Am. Like, you got to go through some shit to know some shit, So, yeah, YouTube, we here. We making it happen. We'll keep y'all updated as to different moves. We got a few other things we got in the works by the end of the summer we like to share. And like I say, now, I'm not venting as much, so I'm not making videos as much. It's like, you moving and you shaking. You ain't really mad about nothing. YouTube is my little vent. You draw. So, but yeah, I definitely want to keep y'all updated. If I can refer you to companies that, in my opinion, that'll treat you decent, pay you right, because I could take shit out here as long as I'm getting paid. You draw. But when you ain't getting paid and taking shit, that's a problem, bro. That's a problem. But like I say, so far from Sharky to RTS, and I don't want to get into a situation where I'm constantly switching jobs. Mainly, it was the experience. Once I got to a year after dealing with Sharky, I was in a position to be home more with the position. But honestly, I could have came to RTS in 6 months, but I didn't even know they existed before I went to, because in Indy, like US Express, JB Hunt, and what, none of them talking nothing to what, and like Sharky pays 60 cents, you know what I mean? So, and then the experience gets you a better percentage. Like, I think my company starts out at 26%. If you have 6 months, me coming in with the year put me at 28%. And I think their max is 32%. So I'm assuming every year I get another percent added on. But yeah, after you got a year out here, man, it's pretty much your ball game. That first year, you're gonna get kicked all in your ass. And that's the shit that people in a lot of these videos not explaining to you. When you first come out of school, those first 6 months, got to be crucial for whatever company you choose to deal with, because you gon' listen. It's not a lot of companies gonna hire you fresh out of school, and the ones that do, they all big and they conglomerates. You know, they got a monopoly on the shit. So you got to pick, you know, the lesser devil. You know what I mean? Like, they're all devils. You got to pick one that, you know, you can kind of pretty much work with for 6 months. You see, and I had signed a contract with Trans Am, so I definitely had wanted to complete that. But after that 6 months, the doors open up a little more. A year, the door, you know, you and somebody else can come through the door of the year, and then after 2 years, hell, you can bring the whole mob through the door. Like, you know, your choices are endless. So it's really a game of paying dues out here, man. So it's highly important that you do a little research on the first company you go to fresh out of school. Then after that 6 months, you start seeing the pickings get a little better. After a year, you know what I mean? After 2 years, I assume they're going to be knocking at your door. You draw. But so far, I'm going to say I've made good choices with companies, even with Trans Am, because I learned valuable lessons. I learned the bullshit that dispatchers would tell you just to get you hired and in the truck, and then later, you know, try to shitstorm you to keep you around. I learned a lot about the reefer division, but here reefer paid more than dry van. When I was with Sharky, I was doing dry van. Here it's a big difference because of the percentage. So I would much rather like I was getting loads for the dry van like $600. Here I'm getting reefer loads where I'm getting a percentage on $3,500, $4,200 loads. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, way big, and I'm only running 1 or 2 loads a week. You know, I'm not running. I mean, the distances I'm running, but I'm not making a lot of stops to shippers and receivers. I pick up in one location and I may have to take it 900 miles down, then get a back haul 900 miles back home. Like, and that works for me. You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you do the math, if you're doing 60 cents a mile, which is what I was getting at Sharky, if you run 1,000 miles, that's $600. See what I'm saying? So 2,000 miles is $1,200, right? I could get a load for $4,200 going one way. That's gonna put $1,100 in my pocket. Then I can get another load for $35 coming back. That's gonna be about another grand in my. You see what I'm saying? Like, the money for less work versus all the stops that I had to make getting paid by the mile. You know. So, I mean, but there's certain people that won't do percentage, certain people that won't do mileage. You know what I mean? Me, I done had so much bad luck with breakdowns. I don't want to get paid by the mile no more. I either want to get paid by the hour or get paid by the load. So, but it's been a good transition, man. We're going to keep y'all updated, man. You know, give out as much information as we can. But I think that's highly important to understand, is what people are not explaining in a lot of these videos, is your first 6 months, you just a stool pigeon, man. You the punching bag. You draw because you need them more than they need you. You draw because the opportunities to get on to good companies are dead if you under 6 months. You draw, so you got to deal with these other companies. And they know this. They know you got to go through them to get your start in this business. And, you know, as time go on, like, it's been a quick 1.5 years, man. Don't even really seem like it. But, like I say, the wealth of knowledge, I'm understanding, you know, because your first 6 months, just learn how to drive, man. I tell you this, I wouldn't even worry about the fucking money. First 6 months, that's what you're going to drive yourself fucking crazy. Learn how to drive, learn how to get in and out of these tight ass shippers and receivers, not have accidents, pay attention to what other drivers doing on the road, get your experience up, and let, you know what I mean, and make what you can while you can. Then after 6 months, you could be more invested in, okay, what kind of money do I want to make? After a year, what kind of home time do I want? How do I want my lifestyle to run? 2 years, you know, the world is yours at that point. You draw, as long as you've been out here safe and ain't been, you know, killing whole families and shit. But yeah, I think that's probably the most important information through my journey that I could give to anybody else, is knowing what your first 6 months look like. Just learn how to drive and be safe. You draw, and then after that, try to get to the money. Peace and love.